I have to do my show.
I can't help it, Your Honor.
Oh my god, did you just call me Your Honor?
Yeah.
Babe.
Baby.
You're so epic.
Oh, you're so pumped.
You are. I drum all the small things on my app when we get home.
Yeah. Hands are stiff.
My best to make it happen. So when I was 9 years old, the show The Real World came out. I remember me and my best friend Allison were sitting and it did
10 years. So it's like, it does make it really easy. Like we just all know each other and each other.
For the day I left. And the day I left, I was like,
you'd flown a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with the territory with what I do. Sometimes we'd fly twice a day.
New allegations about Travis Barker just surfaced, and they're bringing up a pattern that goes back decades. People online are saying he's been spotted with a woman his daughter's age, and fans are now questioning if Kourtney Kardashian is trapped in the exact same cycle his ex-wife warned everyone about years ago. The red flags have been there all along, hidden in plain sight, and what we're about to uncover will change how you see their entire relationship. Travis Barker has a history that most people don't talk about, but his own words in his 2015 memoir tell a story he can't take back. While recovering from that devastating plane crash in 2008, barely able to move and covered in burns, Travis was supposed to be focused on survival. His ex-wife Shanna Moakler had set up a laptop at his bedside so he could video chat with their kids and stay connected to the outside world. But Shanna discovered something that shattered her. She found emails from over 13 different women. He was messaging them while getting blood transfusions. The betrayal cut deeper when she realized he was also anonymously posting comments about her on TMZ, calling her a terrible mother while she was helping him recover. The pattern didn't start there, and it definitely didn't end there. Jump to November 2025. And social media exploded with claims that Travis was seen with someone young enough to be his daughter. TikTok videos and Instagram posts started circulating, referencing blind items and eyewitness accounts. The allegations spread like wildfire, with podcasts and celebrity gossip accounts amplifying every detail. Whether these recent claims turn out to be true or not, they've reignited conversations about his past and forced people to look at the timeline of his relationships with fresh eyes. Let's talk about Kim Kardashian, because this situation is wild. Travis's own memoir describes hanging out with Kim back when she was working as Paris Hilton's assistant, organizing closets and packing bags. He writes about how they went swimming at his house, watched 4th of July fireworks together, and had these sweet phone conversations where she'd say she wanted to see him again. Travis admits in the book that Shanna caught wind of what was happening and poured a drink on Kim at a party. Now, Kim went on the Call Her Daddy podcast and flat out denied ever hooking up with Travis, saying they were just friends. But here's the thing. Travis's memoir paints a different picture. He describes intimate moments, private time together, and emotional connection. The awkwardness of this situation is off the charts because now Kim is Kourtney's sister and Travis is her brother-in-law. Family dinners must be incredibly tense. Shanna has gone on record multiple times saying she believes they had an affair, and Travis's own written words seem to support that something deeper than friendship was happening. The contradiction between what Kim says now and what Travis wrote years ago leaves a lot of unanswered questions. One of the most uncomfortable moments caught on camera was during a Kardashians episode where Travis forced Kourtney to run a 5K race. She told him repeatedly that she wasn't prepared, that she was still breastfeeding their son Rocky, and that she only trained with 2-minute running intervals. But Travis wouldn't take no for an answer. When the race started, Kourtney protested, saying she wasn't running at that pace. Travis physically held her hand and wouldn't let go, dragging her along at his speed despite her discomfort. She told him multiple times she felt like she might pass out or throw up, but he never slowed down. At the water station, she literally had to negotiate, saying if he let her drink water, she'd keep running with him. Fans called it out immediately, labeling it as controlling behavior and a major red flag. People who run marathons pointed out that you never see couples running hand in hand like that. It was clearly about control, not support. Kourtney even admitted on camera that she didn't want to do it and felt like she had nothing to prove in that phase of her life. The whole scene felt less like a loving husband encouraging his wife and more like someone refusing to respect boundaries. The excessive PDA between Travis and Kourtney has become legendary, but what most people overlook is how uncomfortable it makes their kids. There's actual footage of Reign, Kourtney's son, literally begging his mother to stop making out with Travis in front of them. He asks her directly, and you can hear the discomfort in his voice. Penelope, Kourtney's daughter, has asked them multiple times to stop, even going as far as making them certificates to try to get them to behave more appropriately around the kids. But instead of listening and respecting their children's feelings, they continue with the same behavior. It gets even more bizarre when you realize Travis didn't include Kourtney's kids in his proposal at all. Everyone was at the beach when he got down on one knee, but Mason, Penelope, and Reign weren't there. They found out over the phone. When Penelope was told, she immediately started crying and screaming. It's heartbreaking to watch because you can tell she doesn't understand what this means for her life and her family. The excessive PDA isn't just about love. It's become Travis's weapon to push Scott Disick out of the picture. Sources have said that Travis made it awkward for Scott to be around the family by constantly kissing and groping Kourtney whenever Scott was present. It worked. Scott distanced himself for a while, but it also traumatized the kids who had to witness it all. When Travis entered Kourtney's life, something shifted dramatically. She started cutting people off, one by one, until her entire social circle disappeared. Kourtney had lifelong friends, women she'd known since childhood, who were like sisters to her. Their names are Melissa, Allie, Stephanie, Brittany, another Kourtney, and Sarah from Poosh. These were people she posted photos with constantly, partied with in LA and Vegas, and confided in for years. Now she barely responds to their texts or calls. Insiders say these women are still close with other members of the Kardashian family, but Kourtney has completely iced them out since getting with Travis. It's not just her friends either. Her relationship with her sisters has become strained and distant. Sources claim Kourtney barely talks to Kim and Khloe anymore, except when they're filming the show, treating them more like co-workers than family. The fakeness is visible on camera. One of the most telling moments was when Kourtney announced her pregnancy to the world at a Blink-182 concert, holding up a sign that said, "Travis, I'm pregnant." Sounds cute, right? Except her entire family found out the same way the rest of the world did. Kris Jenner woke up and saw it on ABC News. She thought someone was pranking her. Kourtney didn't even think to tell her own mother before making a public announcement. That's not just forgetfulness, that's isolation. And the most recent photos from Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party tell the whole story. Everyone in the family photo is smiling, or at least attempting to smile, but Kourtney looks absolutely miserable. She looks like she's being held there against her will, completely disconnected from everyone around her. People online have been saying she's lost her spark, that she looks like she's carrying heavy energy, and honestly, they're not wrong. Shanna Moakler's story is one of the most important pieces of this puzzle because she lived through what Kourtney is experiencing now. Shanna has been incredibly open about what her marriage to Travis was like, and the details are disturbing. She's talked about his womanizing, his drinking, his drug problems, and the emotional abuse she endured. On the Dumb Blonde podcast, Shanna got emotional talking about how Travis treated her, saying he did her pretty dirty. She described finding those emails from multiple women while he was recovering from the plane crash, and realizing he was the one behind cruel comments about her on TMZ. But it goes even deeper than that. After their divorce, Shanna claims Travis engaged in parental alienation, turning their kids against her by playing the role of the super dad. She said he wanted to be seen as the best parent, the one who had all the money and could provide everything. Shanna couldn't compete with the Prada gifts, the mansion, the movie theater, and the golf carts Travis had for the kids. When Travis started dating Kourtney, things got even worse. Alabama and Landon were drawn to the Kardashian lifestyle, the glitter, the fame, the access to celebrities like Kanye. Alabama stopped talking to her mother for months, choosing Travis and Kourtney over Shanna. It broke Shanna's heart, and she's been vocal about how painful it was to watch her kids be pulled away from her. She's also been very clear that she doesn't have to like the Kardashian family, and she doesn't. Watching Travis repeat the same romantic gestures with Kourtney that he did with her, like skywriting messages and grand flower displays, has been hurtful. Shanna has tried to warn people that Travis hasn't changed, that the patterns are still there, but most people didn't want to listen. The current state of their marriage is raising eyebrows. In recent episodes of The Kardashians, Kourtney has opened up about how she and Travis are in different places right now. She's described him as impulsive, while she prefers to stay home and take things slow. They're spending more time apart, which she's framed as healthy, but fans are reading between the lines. Then there's the bizarre merchandising choices, like Travis selling blood-stained pants as merchandise right after Rocky was born. Fans were disgusted, calling it tasteless and insensitive. During Kourtney's labor, Travis was drumming to the baby's heartbeat instead of fully supporting her through the experience. Some saw it as sweet. Others saw it as him making the moment about himself. There's also been tension around Justin Bieber, with Travis allegedly feeling jealous that Kourtney wanted to reach out to him. The cheating rumors from November 2025 have only added fuel to the fire, with people questioning if history is repeating itself. Years ago, a Reddit user predicted exactly what's happening now. They wrote that Travis is a serial cheater and that he hadn't changed his lifelong patterns just because he got with Kourtney. They warned that the excessive PDA and love bombing were the same tactics he used with Shanna, and they asked what would happen when the newness wore off. That post was written 4 years ago, and it's aging like fine wine. Travis is doing the exact same romantic gestures for Kourtney that he did for Shanna, from skywriting to elaborate flower arrangements. Shanna has said watching it all repeat is painful because she knows how it ends. The signs are all there: the isolation from family and friends, the controlling behavior, the disregard for boundaries, and the pattern of alleged infidelity. People are starting to notice that Kourtney looks different now, not physically, but emotionally. She looks disconnected, unhappy, and drained. The spark that everyone loved about her seems to have dimmed. At family events, she stands out as the only one who looks genuinely miserable, while everyone else is at least trying to smile. The pattern with Travis Barker is clear when you lay it all out. It starts with intense love bombing, grand gestures, and making his partner feel like the center of his universe. Then comes the isolation, cutting off friends and family until his partner is dependent on him alone. The controlling behavior follows, whether it's forcing someone to run a race they don't want to, or making every moment about excessive physical affection. And then, based on his past, allegations of infidelity surface. Shanna lived through this exact cycle, and now people are watching Kourtney go through what looks like the same thing. The question everyone is asking is whether Kourtney will wake up to the pattern before it's too late, or if she's already in too deep to see it clearly. Travis presents himself as this devoted father and loving husband, but the cracks in that image are becoming harder to ignore. From the way he treats his kids' discomfort to the way he's allegedly treated the women in his past, there's a disconnect between the public persona and the private reality. What makes this entire situation even more unsettling is how public it all is. Every red flag, every uncomfortable moment, every allegation is documented and available for the world to see. Kourtney went from being one of the most independent and strong-willed Kardashians to someone who looks trapped and unhappy in family photos. Her transformation since getting with Travis has been dramatic, and not in a good way. She adopted his style, his personality, and his lifestyle, losing pieces of herself along the way. The friends who knew her best are no longer in her life. The family who supported her through everything now feel like strangers she only interacts with for work. And the kids who should feel comfortable and secure are instead asking their mom to stop making out with her husband in front of them. Travis's past is full of warnings that were ignored, and his present is full of red flags that are being explained away. Shanna tried to warn people, his own memoir provided evidence, and the behavior patterns are consistent. Yet somehow, the narrative around Travis and Kourtney has remained largely positive until recently. The reality is that Travis Barker has a well-documented history of behavior that should concern anyone who cares about Kourtney's well-being. The allegations from November 2025 about him being with a woman his daughter's age might be unverified, but they fit into a larger pattern that's been established over decades. From the emails Shanna found to the alleged affair with Kim, to the way he's isolated Kourtney from everyone who cared about her, the signs have been there all along. The excessive PDA that seems romantic on the surface is actually a tool he's used to push people like Scott out of the picture and make his kids uncomfortable enough to keep their distance. The grand gestures that look like love might actually be love bombing, a manipulation tactic used to keep someone emotionally dependent. And the controlling behavior, like forcing Kourtney to run that race, shows a lack of respect for her autonomy and boundaries. Kourtney's unhappiness is visible now in a way it wasn't before. She went from glowing and carefree in her earlier relationships to looking drained and disconnected now. The contrast between how she looked when she dated that French guy, frolicking and happy, versus how she looks now at family events is stark. Travis's relationship with Shanna should have been the warning everyone needed, but instead, people wrote it off as drama from a bitter ex. Shanna has been consistent in her story, talking about the womanizing, the emotional abuse, and the parental alienation. She's described finding evidence of his infidelity during the most vulnerable time of his life and realizing he was also publicly trashing her while she helped him recover. The parental alienation she described, where Travis positioned himself as the superior parent and used his wealth and access to pull the kids away from her, is particularly concerning. It shows a pattern of using control and resources to manipulate family dynamics. And now, watching Travis's relationship with Kourtney's kids, especially the way he didn't include them in the proposal and continues the excessive PDA despite their protests, suggests that same disregard for children's emotional needs is still present. Alabama's estrangement from Shanna, which lasted months, seems to have been heavily influenced by Travis and Kourtney's lifestyle and the opportunities it provided. Shanna couldn't compete with Prada bags and access to celebrity events, and her kids chose the glittering life over their relationship with their mother. The November 2025 allegations have brought all of this history back into focus. Social media has been flooded with discussions about Travis's past, with people sharing clips from Shanna's podcast interviews and pointing out the patterns. Whether the specific allegations about the woman his daughter's age are true or not, they've opened up a conversation about whether Travis has really changed or if he's just better at managing his image now. Kourtney's isolation, her visible unhappiness, and the concerning dynamics in their relationship are making people question if she's okay. The Kardashian family's loyalty to Scott over Travis speaks volumes. Kris Jenner made it clear that Scott will never be excommunicated from their family, that he's the father of her grandchildren and a special part of their lives. That statement was a subtle message about where the family's priorities lie, and it wasn't with Travis. The kids' loyalty to Scott is also telling. Despite Travis being in their lives and married to their mother, Mason, Penelope, and Reign will always side with their father when it comes to conflicts with Travis. That's not because Scott is manipulating them, it's because Travis has made them uncomfortable and hasn't earned their trust or respect. So where does this leave Kourtney? She's married to a man with a documented history of behavior that hurt his previous wife and family. She's isolated from her friends and emotionally distant from her sisters. Her kids are uncomfortable around her husband and were left out of major life events like the proposal, and she looks genuinely unhappy in recent photos. Lacking the spark and energy she used to have, the pattern is repeating itself almost exactly as it played out with Shanna, and people who care about Kourtney are starting to speak up. The excessive PDA, the grand gestures, the isolation, the controlling behavior, it's all there. And now, with fresh allegations circulating, the question is whether Kourtney will see the pattern for what it is or continue down a path that has already proven destructive. History doesn't just repeat itself by accident. It repeats when people ignore the warnings, dismiss the red flags, and convince themselves that things will be different this time. Travis Barker's history is not a secret. It's documented in his own words, in his ex-wife's testimony, and in the behavior patterns visible to anyone paying attention. The question now is whether this chapter of his life will end differently, or if we're all watching the same story unfold with a different victim. Kourtney Kardashian deserves better than to be isolated, controlled, and potentially betrayed. Her kids deserve to feel comfortable in their own home without having to beg their mother to stop inappropriate behavior. And the people who love her deserve to have access to her without being cut off completely. The warning signs are everywhere, and it's time people started paying attention to them.